With 2 spots remaining and 4 teams fighting for it, where does everybody stand in the rankings of power? How's it going, everybody? I'm Jason of Jason's Realm here, and today I'm here bringing you guys my official XFL Week 10 Power Rankings. And without further ado, let's just get right into this thing. Before I do, I want to hear what you guys have to say. What are your XFL Power Rankings? I feel pretty confident in mine, but I love hearing what you guys have to say, and I will get back to every single one of you guys who leaves a comment with your power ranking. At number 8, we have the San Antonio Brahmas, not moving from last week. Yes, they did play close, and did they win? Yes, they did win last week over Orlando, but at the same time, this team does have a critical flaw in the fact that they are so dependent on the level of play from the quarterback position. They are not a plug-and-play system. They are if our quarterback's having a bad day, we are screwed kind of team. So they are way too dependent on the quarterback for me to really rank them any higher. I give them the NFL equivalent of the Chargers. If the quarterback's on point, this team can play ball. But if the quarterback play is off, this team is going to absolutely suck, just like the Chargers. At number 7, I have the Orlando Guardians, down 2 spots from last week because they did manage to lose to the Brahmas. I couldn't put them below the Brahmas, but at the same time, I feel like they were so strong, and then they just fell off. It seems like they just gave up after they got their first win because they didn't want to go winless. I still think this unit has potential, but they are not capitalizing on it at all right now. At number 6, I have the Las Vegas Vipers. This team looking all right down the stretch. They seem to be finding their guy and Jalen McClendon under center. This team really looking like a potentially dangerous one down the stretch for next season. This year's shot, but next year, depending on how they structure their roster and how the North plays out, they could be in a situation to make a run, although it will be tough in that crowded North Division. At number 5, I have the Arlington Renegades, up 2 spots from last week as they did play DC very close. They had an incredible comeback in the fourth quarter, down 17, ended up tying it, taking it to overtime, where they ended up losing, but still, they took it to overtime when they should have and quite possibly very easily could have given up, down 17 entering the fourth quarter. But this unit has grit, they have fight, and I think they do make the playoffs over the Renegade or over the Brahmas, as all they need to do is just get a win. If they lose, then it comes to a tiebreaker between them and the Brahmas. But I do feel fully confident that this Renegades team will get the win and be able to make the playoffs. At number 4, I have the Houston Roughnecks. This team staying put from last week. They have been staying put at number 4 for quite some time on my list, just because they are such an up and down team. They will play bad teams amazingly, and then they will play good teams like garbage. This team is such an enigma. They play up to good opponents, or they play up to bad opponents. They play down to good opponents. This team is the definition of mediocre to average. They play up against the bad guys, they play down to good guys, and they just struggle. I don't think that if they make the championship game that they win it. I think they make the championship game, but I just don't think they win it. I'm not sold on Wade Phillips' unit. This team has way too many struggles against good teams for me to confidently say that they're going to win it, unlike a lot of people said at the beginning of the year. At number 3, I have the St. Louis Battlehawks, down 1 spot from last week, as they did choke in a massive way when it was a win and in game. Now, even if they do win, there is a huge bunch of tiebreakers that could end up altering it. The Battlehawks need to win, and they need to win big this week if they want to have a chance at making the playoffs. Meanwhile, they just completely choked last week. They had the chance to do it, and they just could not secure the win. When this unit wants to be good, they are amazing, but when they don't want to be good, they struggle like they did last Sunday. So let's see what team shows up this week. I'm not sure which team does, but hopefully it's the one that is able to clinch them a playoff spot. At number 2, I have the DC Defenders, down 1 spot, as I could not in good faith keep them as the number 1 team after what happened. I don't know what that was against Arlington. It wasn't a choke. It was worse than a choke. It was a complete and utter collapse, meltdown, whatever you want to call it, giving up 17 points and almost losing it in overtime. I mean, this team, they are good when they want to be, but recently they have had a lot more question marks, especially since they've made the playoffs. They have been looking shaky. This team has not been selling me on the fact that they are the team that went 6-0. after that loss to Orlando, they just have not been the same. And I'm just not sold that this team will do good in the playoffs. We'll have to see how they fare, but it seems like they've all but given up until the playoffs. And that leaves at number 1 for the first time this season, the Seattle Sea Dragons, up 2 spots from last week. This team playing with grit, playing with heart, playing with a nice will to win. This team did whatever they could to walk into St. Louis and just completely upend the dome, silence the crowd, and win huge. They won by 18 in one of the most ruthless environments to play in the XFL in St. Louis. I think that this team is really looking good going down the stretch, and I think that they have a chance to win big next week and maybe sneak into the playoffs. We'll have to see how it plays out, but I just think it's going to be a really interesting situation between these two teams. Well, that's about going to do it for me today. If you guys did like, don't forget to smash like and subscribe, and also check out the USFL Power Rankings video for week 2. I am posting that today as well. Not sure if it's before or after, but you know the drill. It'll be on the channel. And also, if you don't want to watch that, YouTube thinks this video right over here is perfect for you. So why don't you click on that, and we hope to see you there. I guess with that, I will see you guys later. Peace out, and have a good one.